Welcome. This is Sandi. She's from Brisbane, Australia. And I first met her at a women's conference end of November 2021, it was. And so she came up to me and then she inquired about my 8-week spending plan course, which she just completed last week. So welcome, Sandi.
Thanks.
So what I want you to tell first, I want you to tell me your first memory or first memory of money, whether what you spent it on or your thoughts about money when you were a little child.
In our family, there were 12 children.
Okay.
And so money was always short. And you didn't need much. It went a long way. We were given 50 cents to do our Christmas shopping. Can you tell I'm that old?
That was a lot of money then.
And yeah, we managed to get little presents, but there was always, the money was always short, and I had the mentality that there was never enough.
Right. So that experience would have right there created a mindset, there's never enough. And so how has that affected you as an adult? How has that affected your mindset as an adult that there's never enough?
As soon as I started working, I started spending, and I would spend every cent. I was okay in budgeting. I managed to pay my bills. I didn't get into too much debt, but I didn't understand how you could make money work for you. It took a long time, many years, decades. So I would just spend it all on just rubbish. Yeah.
Like we all did when we were younger. And thank goodness the past is in the past and the past stays in the past. And now it's every day is a new day for your spending.
Yes.
Okay, and so tell me what was your, as an adult, what was your financial challenges or pitfalls that you had?
I kind of never saved for the future. I didn't have anything put away for the future. I didn't have any savings. I eventually, later on in life, I had savings, and I realized that money could work for you, but there were times when I would be frivolous with it. Yeah.
So now fast track to last year or the last couple of years, when you attended that women's conference that I was speaking in, and it was how to protect your money from you. What was going through your mind, and what were some of the things that stood out to you during that workshop?
Well, basically, I already had a bills account and an FFFI account, but I didn't know what they were called.
Right.
But I never thought about, well, I now own a home. I never thought about what I was going to do to replace it. There was no structure to it. I just didn't touch my bills money, and there was way too much money in there. And I had the FFFI. That's all I used. So I was kind of more like living in fear of the future, what it might bring, than having any kind of structure to how my money could work.
Okay, and so you've mentioned the bills account, okay? And so we all know what a bills account is. Now when we have a bills account, it's more than just your bills. It's actually all your regular reoccurring expenses. That includes birthdays and Christmas, all the things that you know you're going to spend. And And in the bills account, we basically put things that we know the amount, we can estimate the amount, the frequency, as well as the date we want it available, and that will go in the bills account. But then you mentioned the FFFI. Can you tell us what the FFFI stands for?
Food, fuel, fun, and incidentals.
Very good. You passed. And so, yeah, so that's your regular weekly or pay cycle spending account. And so what happens once it goes to zero?
You stop spending.
Very good. Do you ever steal from yourself or sabotage your plan by going to your bills account and getting some more money out?
No.
Exactly. No, you don't. And that's the thing. I teach that the chances of someone coming in and stealing your money is very, very little. In fact, we were broken into 33 years ago, my husband and I. And granted, we didn't have any money in the house. We were just newlyweds. But they only wanted the TV, the teeny little TV and the old VCR. And we've never been broken in ever since then. That was 33 years. But have we stole from ourselves? From our bank accounts? Yeah, many, many times. And so we need to protect our money from us, not from anybody else, because we can easily, set a plan or set a budget and then not follow it because of us. So we are our worst enemy. And so protecting your money by effective bank structure, which I teach, then it protects your money from you.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so what were some of the feelings or the stresses that you had in regards to money before you did the spending plan?
Although the bank, I got my mortgage, and although the bank had ascertained that I could meet all my obligations, I wasn't sure because I didn't have any kind of comprehension or any kind of program or plan about where my money was going to go, how much was going to go out, and the things that could have been automated weren't. And so I was just throwing money into a bank account and hoping for the best.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a budget, and that is what a budget talks about income and expenses. But it's guessing. It's saying you should be able to pay your bills. It's possible to pay your bills, but it will not guarantee that you can pay your bills, or it doesn't even show you how. It just says, hey, if you make this amount of money in a year and you have expenses that are this amount, then you should be able to do it. But it doesn't kind of show you the how, which is what a spending plan does. So a spending plan goes one further. There's income and expenses, but we focus more on the expenses because, as we learned in 2020, income was not, was not secure, but our expenses always were there.
Yeah.
And so we need to decrease our expenses. That's what we have the power to do because we don't always have control to increase our income. And plus we need to learn how to live within our means. Whatever we have, of course, we always want more, but we need to have that gratitude for what you have. Because if you look at what you have today, 10 years ago, would you have been happy? Yeah, it's what you were actually wanting 10 years ago. Well, you now have that. Yes, a few things have gone up in price, but we tend to not ever be happy. We always want more. And so we need to kind of look back and think, wow, I need to be grateful because this is exactly where I wanted to be in the past. Okay, and so you started the spending plan course. So you've just finished that last week. What are the things that really stuck out to you or opened your eyes that you had never thought about before in using your budget?
Okay, so I never thought to call my providers and ask for a better deal.
And share how much, and hopefully you kept track. How much do you think you save by just doing that?
Probably at least 100 a month.
Hey.
And I'm going to do it again.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And so I teach you, you should never pay any insurance before you call them and ask for a better deal. And then your home loan, I can call every 3 months and ask them, can I get a better rate? Can I get a better rate?
Yeah.
So yeah, call them, and no need to be embarrassed.
Yeah, I remember when I called the bank, they were the best deal on the market, but I was still going to try.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, we can only give it to you as a bundle. I said, what's a bundle? And they went, blah, 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 this and that. It's going to cost you $300. And I said to her, I rang to save money, not spend it.
Yeah, that's right.
I went, goodbye.
Yes, yes. And that's where we need to kind of do our homework when we call, is you need to know what the better deals are. When I first called my bank, they just basically, the first time, just decreased it by 0.5%. I saved $1,600 a year just in 10 minutes. Yeah. Then after that, when they could see that I kept calling, they said, well, did you do some research? Do you have someone else that is doing it better? So I had to come with, oh, this bank is doing it for this. And so then they would match that. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's good to know that you're spending the least amount on your essential expenses, the things that we all have to pay. So we need to get those as little as possible so the rest of our money can do what we really want it to do.
Yeah.
What else stuck out to you about a spending plan?
Well, I looked really carefully at the expenses and I cut them down to the bare minimum, and that helped me feel more confident. There was money to spend on what I needed and to provide for the future, whereas before I was giving money to charity to the rate of about $200 a month. And I'm not going to say that's a waste of money, but for me, I couldn't really afford it. So I stopped them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there will be a time when you can probably, increase that, but it's so important. You need to take care of your financial needs first before we start going out and helping others.
Yeah.
And, there is a time, and there will always be a time that you can do that. But, when people want to go and invest, yet they haven't even got their own home yet, and they want to go and buy a home for someone else to live in, say, no, you need to get your own security first.
Yeah.
Create a home for your family before you start creating a home for someone else's family. Because granted, you're going to be a great landlord, but you're not always guaranteed that who you are renting for is going to be a good landlord. So always you need to be helpful to other people. You first need to become self-reliant.
Yeah.
Then you can help others become self-reliant themselves. And by just giving other people money, sometimes does not serve them well.
Yeah.
To educate them.
Yeah. When I was giving to charity, I was on 2 incomes.
Right.
And then when I bought my own house and, was paying all my own bills, I realized I need to learn to live on 1 income.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And that's the thing is when you created your spending plan, what things did we put in first?
The bare necessities. And
yes.
What's that bear's name?
Yeah, bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Yes, that's right. Just the bare necessities. And I even told you what the bare necessities are, because some people think Netflix is a bare necessities, but it's not. There's just the very basic bare necessities. And those are the things that basically sustain your life. Your rent or your mortgage, your electricity, your water, your food, your basic food, not your takeout food or dining out food. And, those basic, your basic insurance, your car, because we need our car to get to work to then pay for the food that keeps us alive. And so it's just those basic ones. And then it shows, once we put those in, the spending plan system will show you a number that you know that you need to, it's a goal of what you can put aside, ideally in an emergency account, or I call it a COVID account, have at least 3 months worth of your essential bills only. Now, when people do it, it's usually around 10 to 15,000, depending on your thing. But how much better would the country be if people had an emergency account when COVID hit? But instead, we and our grandchildren, and probably our great-grandchildren, are going to be paying for all the money that the government had to give us because we were not prepared for anything like that. And it's not going to stop. You know, we need to learn from that. Okay, what's another thing that you learned or that you have really enjoyed in the spending plan system?
Well, I never thought to plan for the future replacement of necessary things in the house. I just never thought about it. And you know, when you look through the expenses on the spending plan, I thought, oh, gee, I never thought about that. Oh, I never thought about replacing that. I never thought, and it kind of felt a little bit overwhelming. But then when I saw how little it actually costs if you put it away now, I just thought, I can do this. Yeah.
That's right. And so she's explaining there's a worksheet. It's separated into 6 different sections because there's 6 ways that we spend our money. The first one is our weekly expenses. That's our food, fuel, fun, and incidentals. Incidentals are those little emergencies like, antibiotics or you need to go get some medicine. Then there's the second type of way we spend our money, which is our regular predictable expenses, which include our bills, birthdays, anything that occurs repeatedly within a 12-month period. Then we have the things we need and the things we want, things that we want to purchase. Then at that point is when we put our head in the sand, because the next one is repairing those things. We need to sometimes repair things we buy, and we tend to not think about that. For example, we all have a toilet probably in our home, and what happens if it gets blocked up? Do you have money to have a tradesman come in and fix that toilet? Majority of Australians and Americans, I would say, do not have at least $400 in an account for those things. So then the next one, the 5th one, is replacing things. It's replacing the things that we buy that we need. And so that's where we have your refrigerator, your white goods, your bed, all those things that we do need to replace within usually a 10-year period. So by having a plan for those, totally, like she said, it's only a few dollars a week because over time it adds up. And then the last one was those once in a lifetime occurrences, education, getting married, having children, going on that holiday, and of course, retirement. So yeah, it definitely does bring peace of mind to know that all those 6 areas are covered. Yeah. They are actually covered in the account structure that we teach you, the bank account structure that protects your money from you, and also plans for those things in the future. Okay, is there any other thing that you really have enjoyed or benefited from having your spending plan?
I just feel it's given me confidence, I'm planning now. I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, I hope this works. Once I'm free I'm planning on getting debt free. And then once that's gone, I'm looking at saving for a holiday, a nice holiday. But then, I'll have all the money there because I'm a happy spender. I'm going to be planning for it. I'm not going to be in debt. I'm not going to get a loan for it or anything like that. I'm paying it in cash.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking about, when I get this amount of money, I'm going to put it on my mortgage, or I'll put it on this, whatever debts I've got, and then that'll bring down my payments. And so then I know that I'm getting closer to saving for a holiday.
Yes. And that's so important. It's so important, and which one are you? Are you the sea kind of holiday or the mountains?
Sea.
You're sea. Yeah, sea. Yes. I like both. I like to go to where I can do both. But yeah, having a why or having a goal is so important, because when you have that goal, then it helps you keep to your plan, and it stops you from stealing from yourself and sabotaging your spending plan. So that's very exciting, and I know that you will get there. And so you've just finished the 8-week group spending plan course.
Yes.
Can you tell me the benefits that you found from doing it as a group? Because wouldn't you have felt embarrassed or ashamed to even have anybody else know about your finances?
Well, we didn't have to reveal the particulars of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was nice to know that you weren't alone, and that everyone in the group was in the same boat, and the sharing was really amazing. We shared ideas of how to save money, some triumphs and ideas of how to get better deals. And I just really admired the people that I was in the class with, because they were brave. We were all brave and became, at first it was a bit scary, but then we became confident and we enjoyed each other's company, and we looked after each other. And it was just, the dynamic was really supportive and helpful.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was a great group of people. There was, I think, about 8 that were in, and a couple couples. And yeah, to share your wins, to even share your struggles, which was okay, because, we all have our struggles, and everyone was at a different level in their journey. Some had lots of debt and had gotten out of it, but was finding they're starting to slip back into that. And so they knew they needed to do something. So lots of different, but the thing that you all had in common was you wanted to do better with your money.
Yes.
And that's what unified you. And having the spending plan and learning together, and helping each other understand it better, along with me, was really good. And my favorite part of it, which I'm sure was yours, was at the end when we would share our wins. Yeah. Of what you learned in how to master the simple spending plan software, or just the teeny little win you might have had during the week where you had a temptation to spend on something in the here and now, the impulse spend, but instead you remembered your why, and you thought, no, I don't want to do that, because I want to keep to my spending plan so I get what I really want. And those were really exciting to hear. And it was an 8-week course. And of course, those wins came after week 1. It really does work fast, the spending plan. And you learn to trust it, because you can. At first you think, oh, is this going to work? But it does. And you can see your future bank statement in each of your accounts, and you can know, 100% know, that as long as you follow your plan like a GPS, that the money will be there on that day when that bill needs to come out. It eliminates all those, oh, I have a big month, I have a big bill coming up. No, because you're saving for every bill for 352 days. You're saving for it in the future. And so same with your replacement items. Something that needs to be replaced in 10 years, you're putting just maybe $1 or $2 away each week. And by that time, it's going to be there. So no need to go into debt again or steal from your savings. Your savings becomes what you really want. Yeah. And so what would you say to people who are considering doing an 8-week course.
I'd say take the plunge. It's well worth it. You will get nothing but benefit from it.
Yeah. And like she said, and we've had others, there was one in the group who called on her insurances and saved $1,100 in one phone call.
Nice.
That was more than double what the actual course cost. And so the course is very affordable. It's $497 for the 8 weeks, which you get 8 90-minute workshop sessions with me. There's a day class and a night class on a Wednesday, depending on your work schedule or your convenience. In the US, it's a Tuesday night. And yeah, and then there's also one-on-ones, because like Sandi said, you know, it is a personal spending plan that you're creating. Yes, you're more than free, and a lot of them did share their plan because it is just a plan. It doesn't have bank details or anything like that on it, to get some free coaching in the group. But it was, you get that one-on-one, plus you get the benefit of the group. And yeah, and you get that accountability at the end. And sounds like your doggy wants to come on. Okay, and so we'll just finish with, first of all, just thank you so much for being open to be interviewed and to share your experience. I just want you to share some words, punch words that would describe how you now feel or the experience of having a spending plan.
I feel confident about the future. I don't feel fearful about whether I'm going to cope financially. I felt really supported, and I have a plan. Yeah, a plan that can go forever.
Yeah, exactly. It goes up to 30 years. It's always, you can see 30 years in advance. So you can see when you're going to pay off your mortgage, or how sooner you'll pay it off if you put even just a few more dollars, because money over time is big. You mentioned that you were supported. So in my course, I have an online course, which you get access to, plus you come to the workshops. Did you feel supported throughout the course?
Absolutely. I knew that I could count on you if I had a question or a query or any issues with the software. You were accessible. You'd get to me on the day or early the next day. I never ever had to wait very long for you to get back to me. I really am grateful for that.
Oh yeah, and that's thank you so much. But that's something that there's so much stuff out there, books, things. Oh, you just kind of are thrown them, and it's like, have fun, kind of like a budget. Good luck. With this, you should be able to fix your finances. But with the spending plan course, I give that old fashioned. I'm going to hold your hand through it, because you're changing your mindset, you're changing your habits, and you need support during that. You need motivation sometimes. And you definitely need someone to celebrate with you. So money becomes a fun topic to talk about, not that stressful topic that it was in the past.
Yeah.
And so, well, thank you so much, Sandi. I know that you'll inspire many. We do have my next course, which starts in a week tomorrow. So that's the 6th of April. And we will be the same time as Sydney at that point with daylight savings. So for Australians, it's 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. on a Wednesday for the day class, and or 7 p.m. at night for those who want to do the night class. So you can choose either. You can go to one week, the other week, and there's also recordings in a private group of those workshops. And if you want to learn more about that, actually, in about less than a half an hour at 12:30 Brisbane time, I'll be having a webinar, and you'll see the links below, and it's Why Budgeting is Broken, and a spending plan is the answer. And so I'll go through short little information of what the difference is. And then also tomorrow, because tomorrow this is the 5th week. So I do the courses. I did my last one February, March, but this is a 5th week. So I have a week off. So I'm doing a Ready, Set, Go webinar. So that's going to, again, educate you what a spending plan is and what the 8-week course entails, and to get you ready, set to go to the first workshop, which is next Wednesday, the 6th, or if you're in the US, it's Tuesday night. I think it's about 6:30 Mountain Standard Time for 8 weeks. And so we have a lot of fun. It's kind of a highlight of the week for me, I know definitely, and to come and to share your wins, to learn more, to be supported by your other fellow happy spenders. And that's what I create, is for you to become a happy spender. A happy spender is a genuine happy spender that plans, saves, which the software does so beautifully for, and then happily spend. Now, the spending planner software in itself is only $10 a month. So once you pay for the course, after the course, there is a very affordable membership so that you can get that continued support. But wow, that small investment will save you hundreds and thousands of dollars as you do that. And then to teach your children. You have to teach your children. So multiply your time and money by giving yourself emotional permission to invest time and money today, or starting next week for the next 2 months, April, May, by having more time and money in the future by creating a spending plan. It works, and it works fast. And so hope to see you at a webinar. If not, we will see you next Tuesday at 11:30 for Essential Money Talks. And thank you again, Sandi. And I look forward to seeing you around.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.